Today is the 14th of May 2010. We are at Maplewood Manor in Ballston Spa, New York. My name is Wayne Clark. I'm with the New York State Military Museum and Veterans Research Center in Saratoga Springs, New York. Sir, for the record, would you please state your full name and your date and place of birth, please?
Robert Lee Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T.
And when were you born, sir?
June the 16th, 1918.
And whereabouts were you born?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Did you attend school in Cincinnati?
Yes.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes. From Owensville High School. And
Do you recall what year you graduated?
in 1936, I believe.
Did you go on to college?
Yes. University of Cincinnati.
And did you graduate?
Yes.
And what did you get your degree in?
In chemistry.
In chemistry.
Yes.
And what year did you graduate?
Well,
About 1940 or?
about that, yes. I don't remember exactly.
All right. Do you remember where you were when you heard about the attack on Pearl Harbor?
No, I don't.
That happened.
I wasn't in the service at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was December of 1941.
41, yeah. Before I graduated.
And when did you go into the service? Let's see.
Private.
You went in August of 1942.
Yes.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
And where did you go? Were you drafted into the Army?
Into the Army, yes. In St. Louis, Missouri, I think it was.
Well, that's all right. And whereabouts did you go for your basic training?
I went to St. Louis. I don't remember what. Yeah, St. Louis, I think it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you recall what fort they sent you to for your basic?
Oh. I'm sorry,
Oh, that's all right. That's not a problem. Once you finished your basic training, did you go on for any additional training? I see you were an Air Force photographer.
yes.
How did you end up going into the Air Force or the Air Corps at that time?
Well, they sent me around to various places. In fact, I was in Laredo, Texas, in the infantry, and because I had 5 years of going to night school at the University of Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
they put me in another program in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled me all the way from Florida, and I went through various places in steps up to New York. And
Did you go to a specialized photography school?
well,
Or did you have a background in
I did
photography?
eventually end up at Yale University.
Oh, at Yale.
Yeah, in a school there.
Mm-hmm. And what did you learn at Yale?
Well, I learned photography,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sorry, but it's sort of sketchy right now.
Okay. You learned photography. Now, they made you an officer too.
Yes,
Were you commissioned out of Yale?
yes. I was in a Yale University school there,
Mm-hmm.
and they decided to put me into this photography school.
Mm-hmm.
And course, I loved that.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were an aerial photographer. While you were at Yale, going through your photography training, did you do any flying at all? Did they send you up to take photographs in school?
Well, I did a little of that,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Had you ever flown before you went into the
No.
military?
No.
And once you completed that course at Yale, what happened next?
Oh, well, several things. I was sent out to Colorado to a school.
Mm-hmm. What kind of school was that in Colorado?
Photography.
Another photographer. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you do any aerial photography out in Colorado?
Basically, yes, the basic
Mm-hmm.
air photography. They had a big camera. They set it up in a plane over the hole in the floor
Mm-hmm.
and taught you to use the air photography. A lot of ground photography too.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you do that through the Bombay doors of the airplane?
Well, no, they had a hole in
Oh,
the
specialized.
floor, and the camera was a pretty large camera,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to learn how to operate that.
All right. And at what point did they send you overseas?
Well, now here we get to.
Do you recall what year it was you went overseas?
No, I can't recall.
Okay.
Well, I know I was sent over there and to Italy.
All right. Now, going overseas, did you fly across or did you go by ship?
I went by ship.
And what was that trip like? Did you go in a convoy or single ship?
I really can't remember. I know we didn't go by ship.
You-
No, we did. Well, we did go by part of it by ship,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up in northern Italy.
Okay.
And then during the course of the war, I went from northern Italy all the way through down to Naples,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm rather hesitant about what happened.
Now, let me ask you, what type of aircraft were you assigned to? Were they B-17s or B-24s or?
Well, we've done some of all of those, B-17 and B-24, and at various places.
Mm-hmm.
I had a brother that was in Italy at the time
Uh-huh.
in the service, and he went through the whole war and was over in the war,
Mm-hmm.
and I never really saw that kind of a training.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a station was a big, oh hell.
Was your brother in the Army?
He's in the Army, basic Army,
Was he infantry?
yes.
And what was your brother's name?
John
John?
C. Stuart.
Is John still living?
No, I'm the only one alive
Okay.
right now, the whole family.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you get to see your brother at all over in Italy?
No,
No?
I was in Italy at the same time he was, and yet
Mm-hmm.
we were always either north or south, or
Oh.
he was Sardinia or all kind of places.
Now, what unit were you with? Do you recall? Was it the 14th Air Force or the 12th, or?
Now, this I should recall, but I really can't remember.
Okay. And the unit that you were with, was it a bombing unit or just a aerial reconnaissance unit?
Air reconnaissance, and I had to set the equipment in and plane, and the planes, whatever were using, and oh, there's so many things I could remember, but I can't.
Now, did you have to develop your own film?
Oh yes, I had to do that. Too.
Were you ever under attack by enemy fighters?
No, I was always too far away.
Mm-hmm.
We had the planes that were fast, and they come in and take pictures and leave.
Mm-hmm. And never encounters with flak or anything like that?
No.
No.
I was always a little too far away for that.
Mm-hmm. What were your living conditions like in Europe or in Italy? Were you on obviously you were on an Air Force base. Were you in tents or buildings?
Buildings mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even think of some of the important places that. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I know I had.
Now I understand you met some generals.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had pictures. I had an awful lot of pictures, which I don't know where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
I had pictures of some of the top generals right there,
Uh-huh.
and I can't remember their names now.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some nice pictures of the generals, and I'm just sorry I can't remember these things.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Did you have much interaction with any of the civilian populace?
Not too much, no.
Uh-huh.
I knew a few of them, but mostly we stayed pretty much. Actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the place.
Rome, Naples, or?
Oh yeah, I went from Jeep all the way north Italy, all the way down to Italy,
Mm-hmm.
southern Italy. I've told this story many times, and I can remember at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you do when you had time off? Did you travel around or go into town?
Oh yes, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stationed about 2 blocks from Lean Tower, Pisa.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, right in that area.
Uh-huh.
And
So you got some photographs of that.
oh yes, I had quite a few photographs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since that time, my wife had all these. I had boxes of these photographs,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what she ever allowed to have. Or no doubt, just scattered around.
Mm-hmm. And your wife is still living?
Oh yes,
And what's your wife's name?
June.
June?
She's a doll.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have. We had 2 children, 2 girls. One of them died at 35.
And do you have any grandchildren?
I do, but I don't even know them
Uh-huh.
because they're all in the south or something like
Oh,
that.
I see.
And we haven't been able to travel.
Mm-hmm. Have you, well, let's see, did you get to see any USO shows at all? Was there any kind of entertainment, like Bob Hope or?
There were a couple of those, and I can't remember which way they are now.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some of those.
I know I've heard veterans say they saw Jerry Colonna and Mickey Rooney, and a lot of the, one fellow was saying he saw Jimmy Cagney, and
Well, I saw a few of these people, but I can't remember who they were.
Uh-huh.
now. But it was quite an experience, actually.
Mhm. Do you recall how many flying hours you had? Or how many missions you went on?
No, like I say, I was in charge of setting up the cameras, making sure the cameras
Mhm.
function and all that. But I can't remember the details of it.
Okay. Did you usually fly with the same crew? The same pilots? Or different
No,
ones?
It all depended on what was going.
Mm-hmm.
Nursing supervisor, please
I,
call
I knew
B2,
several
have a
of the
nursing
pilots pretty
supervisor,
well.
call
Uh-huh.
B2 4594.
But like I say, my memory is at 92, it's starting to fade.
Well, hey, that's okay. You're 92, God bless you.
I'm 92 next month.
92, okay. Do you recall your reaction to when you heard about the death of President Roosevelt? Do you recall if that came as a shock?
I remember quite well that was, I thought that was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. I know it was a shock to a lot of people because he was basically the only president they had known.
Yes. In fact, I took some pictures of the crew, and I wish I had those, but they're gone now.
Mm-hmm.
I think my wife eventually just sold them to somebody else that wanted to make a picture or something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was needing the money.
Okay. Do you recall where you were and what your reaction was when the war ended in Europe? You were still in Italy? President Roosevelt died in April, and then the war in Europe ended in May.
Yes, yeah. I remember something about that, yeah.
Yeah. What do you recall if there was a lot of celebrating when that happened, when the war ended?
Oh, yes. Everybody was just unusually happy
Mm-hmm.
because it was a hell of a war.
Mm-hmm. Were there any rumors floating around that you guys might get sent to Japan because we were still fighting the Japanese?
Well, as a matter of fact, when the war ended, I was on a ship waiting to go through the Panama Canal.
Were you going to be sent to Japan?
That's where we were being sent to.
Oh.
Pacific, I don't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But we would sit out in the water there, and we finally went through the canal,
Mm-hmm.
and the war was all ended, and then they brought us back through to New York.
Oh. I'll bet you were happy, right?
Oh yes, because we had enough war at that time.
Now, were you married during the war or after the war?
After the war.
After the war?
Yes.
Okay. So they sent you back to New York.
And then I went to Denver, Colorado, to the photo school there, and decided what to do, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And eventually I decided, well, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they decided there was enough more.
Mm-hmm. So you were discharged out in Colorado?
I can't remember where I was discharged, but I know very soon after that, yes.
Mm-hmm. According to your paperwork, you were discharged in 1946.
Yes.
Okay.
42 to 46, yeah.
And once you were discharged, you went back home to Cincinnati?
Yes. Went back to school again
Mm-hmm.
at the University of Cincinnati. And here I'm getting a little hazy.
That's all right.
And,
And how did you end up in New York State?
well, I was Cincinnati, and it sent me down to Oak Ridge, Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
for future training, just to keep me busy, I guess. And then oh heavens, I can't recall.
All right. Now, did you know your wife?
No, I didn't meet her until much later.
Okay.
I met her, and in fact, I was going to school, and I remember quite well. I met her in a student bar. There were people hanging around.
Uh-huh.
A student at the University of Cincinnati.
Oh, was she a student too?
She was, yeah, she was younger than I was.
Uh-huh.
And I met her, and that did it.
Uh-huh.
And ever since, we've been ever since we've been together.
Uh-huh. Do you recall approximately what year you got married?
Oh boy.
Probably around 47, 48.
More back, yeah, something like that, yeah. She would know,
Uh-huh.
and I don't remember.
Okay.
But I remember once I met her, that was it.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now, did you, obviously, you made use of the GI Bill
Oh,
going
yeah.
back to school.
Yes.
Did you join any veterans organizations? Like the VFW or the American Legion?
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Did you maintain contact with anyone you were in the service with?
There were a few people that I met off and on somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Did you attend like reunions or anything like that?
No, too
No.
much.
No.
I couldn't afford to travel.
Uh-huh. Now, once you finished your schooling, what type of career did you have?
Well, here GE
Oh.
took over,
Uh-huh.
and they sent me back down to Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what were, but
Okay. Now, you had studied chemistry in college.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
I went to night school at the University of Cincinnati for 5 years before the war,
Mhm.
and that had something to do with my getting into training in the service.
Mhm. Now, did you retire from General Electric?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, you've been retired a long time.
Yes. Entire.
um, let me ask you this. How do you think your time in the service changed or affected your life?
Well, before the war, my family was always rather poorly.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we didn't have much money,
Mm-hmm.
and I met an awful lot of people who gave me ideas about doing things at Yale University. Well, I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
all the things that happened.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you would have traveled like you did had you not gone into the service?
Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to afford to.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that when GE took over Oak Ridge, they sent me down there, and then eventually they sent me up northeast here,
Mm-hmm.
connected with work.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get sent overseas at all?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
After I married, I didn't want to do a lot of traveling like that.
Yeah.
But my wife and I, during that time at the University of Cincinnati, and we've been in love ever since. She's
Well-
pretty good. She had me hooked.
Okay, well, sounds like it. All right, well, thank you so much for your interview.
Oh, I'm sorry I couldn't
No,
remember.
you did a fine job.
There's so many things that I'd like to say, and I can't remember what they were.
I understand. Well, thank you again, sir.